Hello there, English speakers, and welcome to some Swedish Christmas stuff. This is very Swedish, or Scandinavian actually. So I saw some people who are looking into old abandoned houses, and they thought that this was some sort of Jewish thing. No, it's Scandinavian, and we use them in Christmas because, well, we do. And they make things look pretty and light in our windows. But let's start by taking a big, deep, second-hand breath. So yeah, this is a second-hand shop. You can buy some Jesus and stuff. I'm late today, and I will explain why. First of all, on Monday, I have some space at home, and I can run Elftown from the start of the day until 12 o'clock when I go to bed. Of course, Swedish or Central European time. So if you want to check it out or check, well, look at your old stuff, I have given up the plan to hire some cloud solution. I don't know if it works, and it will take me 1 week or something to work on it and set it up, and it's ancient structure, and yeah, it's just a lot of work that might result in absolutely failure, and therefore I can't ask for donation to something that I don't know will work. So instead I try to find some work and place to live, and then everything else will just solve itself. So if you are on Elftown and you want to help Elftown, but you hate everything I write on my Substack, or you disagree with it, well, here's a win-win for everyone. You can criticize me and link to my Substack and say that I'm totally wrong, and maybe you have good points, maybe you have bad points, but I will promote you anyway, and then I will get more views and maybe make some monies, and you will get your message out because I will promote you, and in that way we all win, and I will get rich, and that means that Elftown will have a home again. It has a home, but not a working space. Or if you have some good work that I can do for monies from Ljusdal here, that would be great. I had some problem yesterday with this remove, invent and build. First, remove all the evil scams, the big lies like climate vaccines and usury and fake wars. And then you have to invent something, and then you have to build, and then you repeat. So it rib in English. It's a problem there. If you think like I did about Finnish people, they have a problem with b and p, because they pronounce it the same, but it looks good, R-I-B, not like R-I-P, rest in peace, but it might work. But in Sweden I finally managed to do it with aum, that's a great mantra. Uppfinn, bygg, materialisera, so that is, no, avlägsna, upplös, avlägsna, uppfinn, bygg. I can't speak Swedish because it's windy. So that means remove, invent and materialize. I can't speak English either. That's great. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is saying that this bullshit that I talked about yesterday about Susie Wiles, you remember her, the former campaign manager for Netanyahu, and the one who has been working for Big Pharma and Big Agro a very long time. And according to Robert F. Kennedy Jr., she's his best friend, and she's not sabotaging anything. And I wish we could believe him. But of course he had to say that. You can gamify mocking. So not only should you mock people who are having evil agendas, but you can gamify it. So it's a bingo game. So you know how to play buzzword bingo when you go to meetings and you have all these words that people should never use because they don't mean anything, like climate smart or good for the climate, whatever. Even if it's just, I don't know, a paper bag. So in Australia, Joanna Ho, I think she's pronounced, she's a fighter against late pregnancy abortions. And she made a bingo that people can donate to her or the cause, and then they have to bet on words like abortion care, pregnant person, misinformation, and it's very rare with these late stage abortations. So that's no good argument. And of course, trust the experts. You know how to define an expert at this time. It's a complete moron that is getting paid to be wrong about a particular subject in media. And the opposite word is, of course, conspiracy theorist. I read an interesting AntiDMSO article. So you remember what DMSO is? It's something that makes your body swollen up, sort of. It irritates the body and you can get out blood or whatever into areas that you can't get it to otherwise. So this article is, I will debunk it not on facts, because that's not what the article is about. Maybe a Midwestern doctor have read about this and debunked the actual fact, but it's sweeping arguments, and it tries to say that it's evil. It's used in pharmaceutical industries, in the medical industry. So that's what DMSO is used in. So that then it must be bad, because it's like water. You can't use that. You can use very pure water to clean up almost anything, but you can't use that because it's a natural product. So I don't know. This is not an argument. And then this article tried to say that, oh, DMSO, that's a huge market, so there's a lot of money there. $226 million. That's not a big market. That's something totally irrelevant. And it's a big market because they use it for industrial processes and, well, medical stuff or food stuff or whatever. So if you use a little bit of this medical grade DMSO, that will hardly increase the market at all, and no one will spend a lot of money to buy influencers, etc. And she tried to say that they are working for the medical industrial complex or whatever. Yeah, they might do that. That's why they know about DMSO, but they are not getting hundreds of millions of dollars for a $226 million market. That's ridiculous. And then there is associative propaganda. In this case, I really hope it doesn't work, even if you know about it. But they try to explain that a paper mill, where you get DMSO from, paper mill is very toxic and it's bad for everything. So anything, it doesn't say that, but it will try to make you think that anything you get from a paper mill must be very toxic, even though if it's a very pure substance. So I will not debunk the facts there, but I've debunked that someone is really evil or just sick in their way of thinking when it comes to this propaganda. I'm on Twitch now. I live broadcasted there yesterday, which was totally pointless because no one was watching. I have 0 followers on Twitch, twitch.tv. But it takes me no effort whatsoever when I just have to click on a button in Rumble Studio and then I can broadcast there. And I've changed the settings so that on Twitch you can see my videos 7 days after. So it might be good if you are on Twitch anyway for some other reason. I still don't. I'm not live on Facebook or pseudo live when I broadcasting my pre-recorded video. So I will try to use my page. So you can make a page. It has the similar name as, well, it's my name. So in that way you have different features on your profile and on your page. It's very annoying and it's bad of Facebook. So they work differently, have different features. So maybe I can broadcast there. We will see what happens. I think I will stop going live on BitChute and Odyssey. So I will just re-upload there because it doesn't save me time, and I will use the small file that I get from Facebook and I will re-upload that to BitChute and Odyssey while I'm uploading the Swedish video. So that's the plan, at least. German people, your politicians, they are saying your fatherland, and you must think about your fatherland. So this is a word that German politicians haven't used since 1945, because that's verboten. But now they can use it because they want you to die for the Jew and the Jewish wars. Yeah, do not trust that. Even if you really liebe, that's love in German, if you really liebe, liebst, it should be du liebst, ich liebe. If you really love your fatherland, your father is unfortunately a political prisoner and he is locked up in a prison, and until he isn't that, you should not trust him, even if you trust him otherwise, because he's occupied. Major Taylor Greene, she has been attacked by Trump because she wants the Epstein files to be released. And Trump is now saying, without anyone believing him, of course, that he will tell the Department of Justice and Pam Bundy that she should go after all the Democrats and JP Morgan, etc., that have been having close associations with this Epstein, just because all these Democrats have been, well, screaming about it. So maybe, can it be that Trump actually is so smart that he realized the only way that he can succeed in releasing these files is that he can lock the enemy into demanding that they want all the information. And when the Democrat, the entire machine of propaganda, this Titanic, and you imagine that if Titanic actually got hit by an iceberg, there is no evidence for that, it can't steer away from it. The propaganda machine will just continue, and even though they realize that they are tricked, they cannot stop. You get any wind? It's really windy and starting to get dark. So we'll see. Maybe Trump has just been tricking everyone about covering up the Epstein files so that the Democrats would demand what they didn't want before. And maybe this Tyler Robinson is actually an FBI asset that is working for them so that they can catch the real conspirators. Maybe that's a far out there thought. Tucker Carlson was doing some investigation. He got some messages from the other strange FBI case, these crooks that was shooting Trump in the air, not in the air. Too much air here, it's very cold. So this, according to Tucker, it's quite proven that these are the real messages. And before 2020, Crook was messaging a lot about he wants to kill people, and instead of deporting bad people that are immigrants, he wants to send them home in coffins, etc. Horrible teenage behavior. And then in 2020 he was suddenly pro-lockdown, and then he started to hate Trump that he loved before because Trump was hard, but now suddenly it was not hard enough, and then he started to hate him, and then something else. Someone appeared in his life in 2022, and then he kind of stopped posting stuff. So the interesting thing here is, why didn't FBI just tell us this instead of covering everything up so that no one can know anything? And Kash Patel, he has come out now and explained the situation. All the questions that no one asked. How many was working with this case? How many things did you look at? And everything else that no one bloody cares about. Why didn't you tell us more about him? Who had he any contact with? And why on earth did FBI talk about that? No, we can't talk about that until after the trial. What trial? Are they going to put a dead person on trial, or is there something else to this? So yeah, it's weird. But when you read this, all his messages, Tom Crook, you have links on my Substack as usual, that you have a link to somewhere under here. It might not work at first, but then it works. Are you like him? And writing all these crazy, behaviors. I had a lot of stupid thoughts when I was younger, and I did and still do. I have this problem with I'm doubling down on things, and sometimes I'm not doubling down enough and I quit too early. We all have those problems, but hopefully we have some guardrails or some brakes. So when we start to get totally crazy, we do not start to shoot people without a very good plan and with all other options thought out. But a little bit scary to imagine if you look back at yourself and the mistakes you have had and the bad things that you have been thinking that were just wrong or deranged. You were in a bad mood, you had lost your love, or something else got very wrong. Should I? Yeah. Bibi Netanyahu is saying that every society that has been starting to do this anti-Semitism, they have crashed and burned. You remember in 1492, when the Spanish Empire, they kicked out all the Jews and the Muslims, and after that they entered the Golden Age. I think that Bibi Netanyahu didn't remember that. He does have a point though, as he's threatening people as usual. Maybe the Black Death wasn't that black, or maybe it was more big-nosed. and they were poisoning all the wells from all the countries that they have been kicked out of. So nothing happened in Finland with the bubonic plague or the Black Death in general, and nothing happened in Poland, where they treated the Jews well, as well. So that's weird. And you remember the Bolsheviks, they were taking revenge from the Tsar kicking them out. So maybe be careful. Eva Vlardinger Brock, but her ex-handle is just Eva Vlar. She has problem with EU, she says, and that they shadow ban her. So if you search for her in the European Union, you couldn't find her. You have to go to her exact place. She just didn't show up, and instead all the impersonators of her was showing up. It seems to work now, but I wonder if it's European Union or if it's X. She's a Catholic, and you can suspect people, you know, the usual suspects. And we had some other accounts there. Red Baron, for example, had been suspended but gotten back, like me, but unlike me, the second time I got suspended in the last year. And my follower, Majestic Causal, strange name, but also got X'd, and asked about what did I post about. And I post about, I answered, for example, Rick Scott about the Nobel Peace Prize winner, you know, Maria Karina Machado. And I said that, well, I linked to an explanation about what she has been promoting, like the Holocaust in Gaza and invasion and destruction of Venezuela. So that's weird, and I should ask that why not give this peace prize to Netanyahu, because he has dragged USA into every war for the last 25 years, and he himself, Netanyahu, is responsible for all the debt that USA has. And I don't think Israel like that. So yeah, that was all from that. It's starting to get dark, and I will explain why I'm late. If you meet some neocons and they are saying that BBC, they are very pro-Palestine and anti-Israel. No, they are not. So I've linked all the examples there, how they use their... they treat deaths differently. If one Israeli dies, it's more important than if hundreds of Gaza children are holocausted. And they used biased language. They talk about a massacre, but never when the collateral damage, the Gaza so-called Hamas terrorists are massacred, and so on and so on. And sometimes they let the Palestinians talk, but generally they don't. So no, they are totally biased in the other direction. And if you think something else, well, you're a Zionist lying piece of garbage. But they can be worse. Rachel Corrie, she was an American, and she was on the West Bank protesting against illegal demolitions. So then the settlers, or Israelis, they ran her over with a bulldozer, and then they had pancakes parties celebrating like if they had murdered my king's godfather, Folke Bernadotte, or even better, if they had seen the World Trade Center fall down again. So that's satanic, one can think. And even worse, the Zionist Organization of America, they have some Mort Klein. And this Mort Klein, he thinks that it's time to wage war. All this new generation, they are horrible and they dislike Jews, so they need to no compassion, they should have war waged against them. Well, bring some war, declare some war, and we will finish you up. Instead of just this sneaky kind of war that they are waging at the moment, the bad ones. Babylon B, their Seth Dillon, having so-called fun, making a joke that Megyn Kelly, she got rid of her pager just in case. Haha, she's scared of getting murdered by Israel. Yeah, that's not funny. That's satanic humor. And Glenn Greenwald calls them out and asks them to be called Tel Aviv B. Well, Babylon B is great, I think. It reminds you about where the Talmud is written. My follower, John R. Honnakainen, but Gyllenspets. Remember Gyllenspets, that's enough. He had been saying he said himself a little bit over the top things about Jews, but now he has written an article in Swedish. I've linked to an automatic translation about that. Maybe take it a little bit easy, but explain that critique of Israel is not hatred. Not. You should listen to me a little bit more. Don't use not and not in a headline. Say that critique of Israel is justified, and don't say not hatred, then everyone will think it's hatred. And also he did do the mistake, he realized, to say that okay, maybe I'm antiseptic. That's wrong. Never say that you're antiseptic. The other word. You can say I'm not antiseptic. That works. You have to mock the word, because anti-Semitic, that is a word that's a little bit wrong. It makes you part of the scam if you even acknowledge the term. So you must not do that. Now I use not. You should avoid, stay away from that word at all cost, except if you say something like only Zionists can be antiseptic, anti-Semitic. You should say then. There are a lot of small countries like Sweden and Poland, a little bit bigger, and Czech Republic. They are thinking about the euro. But that might be the wrong question. Think about what I told you about the Bank of North Dakota yesterday, and then you think about how different countries can do their or organizations in countries, how they can use their money buffers, how they can have loans or long-term loans, and how this can be done regardless of if they have their own currency or not. So that's worth thinking about, I think. And then the party leader, who is not in the parliament, from the so-called right-wing party, they are right-wing liberals, Medborgerlig Samling. And Daniel Sonesson, he got his account back on Facebook because he knew a boss there. So that kind of sucks a little bit. Did you know that if you are a man and you look at your erect penis, you look very pleased with yourself, almost like Jeff Bezos looking at his rocket that has a lot of very colorful colors. well, sort of. Now you know at least. You didn't ask. Thank you. John Campbell. Dr. John Campbell, he's not a medical doctor, he's a doctor for other reasons, for his research. He went through this investment that Florida should make when it comes to cancer research of repurposed drugs and holistic nutrition strategies. And this we say mostly thank you to Ladopo. Ladopo has a name that's hard to remember, so I made a meme about it. Lada, that's a Russian car, and poo. So you have a little car that is pooping. A cute one, where I also said that he is champion this. And I have a long discussion with Grok about it, and that was complicated. Grok did help me and get all the facts and all the grammar and things correct eventually. I did use Grok for a detail how to automate some things with the uploads and, well, stuff that irritated me on my computer, and that took me 1 hour, and that's why it's dark now. If you want to see some more clear water than this one, mirror water, I have a great image from Tarje Wang is his name. It often takes images here from Ljusdal, and he turned an image upside down. You know, you see the water and then you see the actual houses on the other side of the river here. But I turned it back, so now it's correct. But I did remove a little bit tiny detail. So if you want to search in an image for something that doesn't look right, you can do that and look at a beautiful image at the same time. And finally, there is some great dog therapy. In this case, it was not helping humans, but the dog. The dog had to get out and hang around with small children in school, and it got very happy. So maybe you can look at that and be very happy too. And I uploaded it to Facebook. That is very diligent. It's very annoying. It stops things because it has music in them. So I made my own music on Suno that sort of fits, at least. Not the best music, but fitting with a nice story. And with that, I have a nice, very cold Saturday, and goodbye here from the darkness. It's 3:30.